everyone, welcome back to another lesson of Introduction to Biblical Hebrew. If you are a returnee, congratulations on making it to your second lesson. You are doing great. And for those persons who are joining me for the first time, welcome, welcome. I invite you to watch the first video that I did. And in that lesson, I dealt with the importance of studying biblical Hebrew, importance of studying this ancient language, and also the Hebrew alphabet. And just to point out something briefly, in the first video, I mentioned that there were 22 consonants in the Hebrew alphabet. Now, in some books or in some literature, you will see them mentioned 23. Remember that I outlined last week that if you are treating, let me just share it with you. Screen, you're seeing 23 consonants. However, if you're treating the two colored consonants, sin and shin, as one, there are some books that will say that it's 22 whenever they're treating them as one. And there are other books that will say that it's 23 if they're treating them separately. So either figure is okay. So just wanted to clarify that. So today we'll be going a step further. Today I'll be showing 4 important matters concerning the consonants or some of the consonants in the Hebrew alphabet. So firstly, there are 5 of the consonants in the Hebrew alphabet that have final forms. What is that? Now, final form simply means that when they are found, when these letters are found at the end of a word, they take a different form from that which they would take when they are found at the beginning or the middle of a word. Now, when they take this different form at the end of the word, it does not change their pronunciation or the transliteration. Remember, transliteration is the English equivalent letter of the Hebrew letter. So that's the pronunciation, and the transliteration remains the same, only the form changes. All right, so on my screen, you're seeing 5 consonants to my right, 5 consonants to my left. These are the 5 consonants that would take final forms. They are kaf, which is K, mem, which is M, nun, N, P, which is P, and sade, which is TS. So on my right, that is the regular form that they would have at the beginning or in the middle of a word. And to my left, that is the form that they would take if they're found at the end of the word. So take, for example, the word derek, which means road. In Hebrew, the kaf is found at the end of this word. And so the form that it's taking is the final form as seen in this diagram. All right, so the next thing I want to share with you concerning the consonants is that there are 4 consonants that are pronounced from the back of the throat. And because they're pronounced from the back of the throat, they're referred to as gutturals. Gutturals, the word guttural is derived from the Latin word guttur, which means throat. So the 4 gutturals are listed on the screen. So the 4 gutturals are Aleph, He, Het, and Ayin. Aleph, He, Het, and Ayin. Now on the screen, you're also seeing Resh. How does Resh fall into this category? Now, Resh is not a full guttural. It's like a semi-guttural. And that is because it only bears some of the characteristics of gutturals. And we will need to know at this point what the gutturals are and memorize them. All right, great. There are also 6 consonants in the Hebrew alphabet that have 2 possible pronunciations: a hard pronunciation or a soft pronunciation. Hard pronunciation or a soft pronunciation. Now, to distinguish between these 2 pronunciations, a dot is usually placed in the letter to signify that it's a hard pronunciation. And this dot is referred to as Dagesh Leni. Dagesh Leni. So when the Dagesh Leni is present, it is a hard pronunciation. However, when it is absent, it is a soft pronunciation. Now, these consonants are referred to as Begadkefat. What the heck is Begadkefat? Now, Begadkefat is just a made-up word. So, for example, you're studying some grade content for school and you have some major items that you need to remember. What do you do sometimes? You make up some words to help you to remember. It's the same way with Begadkefat. It's just a made-up word to help you to remember the consonants that have the two possible pronunciations. So it's a mnemonic device that helps in you remembering these consonants. So just pay attention to the screen and then be outlining the 6 consonants that are referred to as Begadkefat. And unlike the final form with the Begadkefat, the pronunciation and the transliteration is affected. The information that I'm showing you is taken from the main book that I'm using for these lessons, Basics of Biblical Hebrew Grammar. I will outline this reference further down in the video, but this material has been taken from that book. On the screen, you're seeing the Begadkefat letters, their pronunciation, and their transliteration. Let's go through the Begadkefat consonant. So there's Beit with the Dagesh Lene, B as in boy, and without. The pronunciation is V as in vine, and the transliteration for the one without Dagesh Lene is B with the horizontal line below, or some books have BH. The next Begadkefat consonant is Gimel. With the Dagesh Lene, it is G as in God. Without the Dagesh Lene, it's GH as in Agas. And the transliteration is G with a horizontal line above it, or GH. Thirdly, we have Dalet, as in D as in day. That's the hard pronunciation. That's when it has the Dagesh Lene, and the transliteration is D. Without the Dagesh Lene, which is a soft pronunciation, it is DH as in D. And the transliteration is D with the horizontal line below the D, or DH. Fourthly, we have Kaf. The hard pronunciation, that is a pronunciation with the Dagesh Lene, is K as in king, and the transliteration is K. Without the Dagesh Lene, which is the soft pronunciation, it is CH as in back. And the transliteration for this, or the English equivalent, is G with the horizontal line above, or some books you will see KH or CH. Either is fine. You can choose one and stick to that one, whichever one you're comfortable with. The next consonant is P. The hard pronunciation, that is pronunciation with the dot or the Dagesh Lene, is P as in pastor, and the transliteration is P. Without the Dagesh Lene, it is PH as in alphabet, and the transliteration is P, and the horizontal line is to the top, or there are some books that will have it as PH or F. And finally, Taw. Some persons say Tav or Taw. Either pronunciation is correct. With the Dagesh Lene, the hard pronunciation T as in toy, and transliteration is T. Without the Dagesh Lene, it is TH, that's a soft pronunciation as in tin, and the transliteration is T with the horizontal line below, or some books you'll find TH. Or so finally, the Hebrew language do not have numbers to like English 1, 2, 3 to represent numbers or numerical value. Instead, they use the consonants, each consonant, to represent numerical value. All right, so on my screen, you're seeing exactly what I'm talking about. So from Aleph to Tet, remember Hebrew is written from right to left. So from Aleph to Tet, that represents numbers 1 to 9. From Yod to Sade, they represent numbers from 10 to 9, so that they come in multiples of 10. For example, 10, 20, 30. All right, so from Kaf to Ta, These consonants represent numbers 100, 200, 300, 400. So shin and sin, which are the consonants that are highlighted in red, represents 300. So to the end of another video. So thank you so very much for joining me in this video, and I will see you next time.